Welcome back. You missed me, didn't you? I knew it. No need to say anything. I can already feel the good vibes. So today, in our second installment of Geography Online, we're going to be looking at the nation of Japan. Japan is an archipelago. I know you guys know what an archipelago is. I'll give you a few seconds to shout the answer out. You're right, it's a group or chain of islands. There's actually 4 major islands of Japan. That's where most of the population lives on. Then there's thousands of smaller ones. If you put all of the islands together of Japan, it equals about the size of the state of California. There's 127 million people that call Japan home. That's half of the population of the United States. So based on what we know right there, we can imagine the population density is going to be extremely high because we're putting half of the United States population into an area of the size of California. So a lot of people crammed into an area, especially since these are islands. We know there's 2 different kinds of islands, tops of volcanoes, tops of mountains, that kind of thing right there. So you know not a whole lot of population is going to be living in those areas to start with. No part of Japan is more than 70 miles from the sea. Major food staples are going to be rice. Rice is a major dish mainly because of the fact that you can harvest it almost 3 times per year. So you're able to have a reliable food source. Fish, since you are 70 miles from the sea, no matter where you're at in Japan, is also going to be a major part of life as well. The major religion is going to be Buddhism, and some of the most important pastimes is going to be sumo wrestling and baseball, which is a recent addition due to the United States troops being stationed there after World War II. The Japanese seen American soldiers playing this and then emulated and started doing the same thing. Where you're at in Japan is going to have a tremendous effect on your weather. If you live in the northern islands, you're going to be a lot colder because the northern islands are constantly being hit by winds coming off of the Arctic Ocean. The southern islands have a nice ocean current coming from the equator that comes right through the Pacific, so it keeps those islands warmer. So as we talked about, the things that can affect climate, ocean currents and wind currents play a tremendous role, especially looking here in Oklahoma. At the filming of this, our high this day was about 70-some degrees. The next day it's going to be 40-some degrees because of the switching of the winds here in our state. So it plays a tremendous role for us as it does in Japan as well. Japanese history goes back centuries, and for a lot of it, it's closely tied with China. Originally, the people in Japan had clans. We talked about clans first when we looked at Scotland. A clan is just a huge group of families that claim a common ancestor and come together because of that ancestor. These clans eventually are going to give way to emperors. Emperors are going to be all the way through World War II, and in fact, you still have emperors today because Japan is a constitutional monarchy. There is an emperor, but just like the King of England, they have no power and cannot make any laws or influence any kind of government or decisions. Japan was just like China, xenophobic from the outsiders, would not trade until the United States pretty much forced them to. All right, guy with the last name Perry comes in with a bunch of battleships. You're going to trade or you're going to deal with that. They decided to trade. So this opens them up to the outside world. Well, this trade supports a population growth. They need more land. In order to do this, they take over land and invade China. Then they start invading other islands in the Pacific Ocean. This leads to their involvement in World War II. In fact, it is Japan that will pull the United States into the conflict with the attack at Pearl Harbor. The United States will end the conflict. We dropped 2 atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, essentially ending World War II. We help rebuild the country. We create their constitution. And because of us helping rebuild the country, that kind of puts them on an edge with all the new factories and everything that we helped build to become the industrial giant that they are today. So your assignment, as always, down below, comment some kind of fact about Japan, and just again to take out the easy one, the capital is Tokyo, so no easy task there. Send it to me. If you don't want to post it below for the world to see, you can send a direct message on the Facebook site, Cooper Middle School Social Studies, on Instagram, Cooper MSSS, or you can email it to me at jbray@drumright.k12.ok.us. If you have any questions or anything, remember that on Fridays I will be going live on Facebook and then on Instagram. So no matter how you're watching these videos, you can have the opportunity, if you want to go more in depth, have some questions you want to try to answer, or you just want to pop in and say hi because you missed me. All right, so hopefully you're enjoying everything. Everyone in yours is safe and happy, and I will see you next time.